I'm here in New Zealand. We're currently in Arrowtown, and I thought today would be the perfect opportunity to showcase the 2 tripods I brought on this trip. Alright, so we're here in Arrowtown. We got here at first light this morning and basically had the whole area to ourselves. Any composition that we dreamt up, we could go and photograph without having issues of people or cars or anything in our way. So it made for a really beautiful morning. The sun's just about to peak over the mountains, but we've got this first light, and as you can see, everything is looking very lush, vibrant, full of array of colours, almost like a Skittles packet. It's just been sprayed all over the mountainside here. So Greg and I are just going to head down this path. We're going to look for some other compositions. I was here back in 2017 in July, and this whole area was covered in snow, so it was really difficult for us to walk around and take photos. And there's a few compositions that I actually want to capture this time, down near the water there, down near the river. So we're going to jump over to that spot now and capture some more photos. Now we've got the Benro Rhino tripod over here and the Benro Tortoise tripod on my left. These 2 tripods are both from Benro, and they fit my kit perfectly with 2 very different styles of shooting. Now the Rhino tripod over here has a center column. Natively it is a little bit shorter than the Tortoise, but when I use that center column and raise it up, it enables me to get to a much higher level. This tripod is really great for travel photography when I need to get to that higher level to shoot over people or just to get over the railings that they might have at tourist hotspots. With the Tortoise tripod, this one doesn't have a center column. It does have a hook very similar to the Rhino tripod, so I can weigh down any tripods if we've got heavy wind. But where this tripod comes in handy is any seascapes or nature scenes where I want to get really low to the ground, where I want to include the foreground. Perfect for a spot like this where we've got the native foliage and the yellow and orange leaves falling on the ground. I'm able to get my tripod right down to the ground, really low, to give me that unique perspective to be able to create unique shots. The Tortoise tripod, this one here is the 35C. It is a 5-section carbon fiber tripod which has 4 locking knuckles. Now it does take that little bit longer to unlock all of the knuckles, but it gives me the height and gives me a much shorter tripod when it's packed down when I'm traveling. So this is the one I opt to when I need to pack super light and travel away. The Rhino tripod doesn't come in that much heavier, but it does give me the flexibility to get higher above a lot of the tourists. I can also clamp the legs down close together, extend the center pole, and use it as a makeshift drone when drones aren't available. So I can get a really high perspective with my 45 megapixel R5 camera to give me the best resolution possible for that unique perspective. So I'm going to show you the difference between the Tortoise tripod and the Rhino tripod and show you what key features they have and why I use them in certain circumstances. Right here I've got the Benro Rhino tripod, and the camera that I'm filming on at the moment is with the Benro Tortoise tripod. Now they're very different in their own way. They're both carbon fiber tripods. Now one of the other things that is great about this tripod is that one of the legs removes and I can use it as a single monopod attachment to my camera as well. So that just gives me extra stability if I'm doing any sports or wildlife photography where I'm kind of positioned in the one spot for a long period of time. Now, one of the best things that I would recommend that is a third-party accessory, the quick release plates are amazing. but I would always recommend putting these straight onto a telephoto lens mount, so 7200 or a 100 to 400 mount. That will allow you to attach that to the tripod collar and use that for that particular lens. And I have all these attached to my longer lenses. For my actual camera though, I highly recommend an L bracket. Now normally when you attach a camera, you only have this functionality in this operation. When you want to go into portrait orientation, the only option you have is to find the little notch within the ball head and drop the camera down. Now that's great in theory. For the most part, it works really well, and you'll find this on every ball head on every tripod. But what happens if you're at a really precarious angle with your tripod and you've splayed your legs right out and you've gotten down nice and low? You can't get that horizon perfectly straight every time. Now sometimes it works perfectly fine, but you'll find that there's situations where you just are pushing the limits, you're a little bit locked up there and you can't put the camera any further. So one thing I find is that being able to mount it differently allows me to not have those issues. The other problem is, instead of having all the weight vertically over the tripod itself, when we start to put our cameras and lenses down like this, we cause our tripod to be unstable. We put all of the weight of the camera on an angle. So if we don't have a leg tightened properly or we're on a very tight angle, it's very easy to lose the camera. So that's another reason why an L bracket is a highly recommended accessory that I always have in my camera bag. Now I always have mine mounted to my camera unless I'm shooting video or unless I need to do something else where I need that mount off. But for the most part, it's always attached. The quick, easy part of being able to attach it vertically like that, all the weight is over the center column, over the main structure of the tripod itself, and allows me to readjust, recompose any position I want, and quickly and easily switch straight back to landscape mode. What I might do is switch tripods, and we'll talk a little bit about the Tortoise tripod now. So here we have the Tortoise tripod. Now the one I have is the Tortoise 35C. So it's carbon fiber again, same as the Rhino tripod, but as you can see, it is a little bit taller. So this is a 5-section carbon fiber tripod. It has 4 knuckles rather than 3. So there are a few extra twists to do when setting it up completely. But for me, the extra height is really necessary, especially when I'm trying to get those frames where I'm slightly higher at a different perspective, or trying to shoot over particular railings or sections when I'm traveling. So a quick trick to pack down your tripod: unlock all of the legs and all of the leg locks first, and then use gravity just to slide it all the way down. That way you can tip it up and lock them all together. And you're good to go. I've got my ball head on top. This is the GX30 that comes with this main kit, but then the leveling base I have as attached as well. Now the leveling base is really handy because if I'm not completely level, instead of having to readjust my legs, what I can do is use the spirit level on the top and just adjust the base. And now I'm completely level without having to touch the legs. Now if I'm going to shoot panoramas and I've got my camera set up in vertical mode, now that I know my legs are nice and level, I can then use my spirit levels on my ball head. I've actually got them on my L bracket here. And now that I've got that nice and squared off, I know that the panorama I shoot is going to be perfect and seamless. I'm not going to have, when I'm compiling the images together, I'm not going to have white spaces top and bottom. I know that I've got a perfectly straight horizon no matter where I spin, even if I were to do a 360. A lot of the time when you have a tripod that doesn't have a leveling base, or you don't get the added accessory, you find that if your legs aren't level, your panorama will start to stoop down or lift up as you pan left and right. So having a leveling base is really going to help you. It also helps you when you're maneuvering and adjusting into a really obscure angle where you've got your legs splayed out. And you can readjust just to give you a little bit more of an upright position to get your frame. Make sure you're all nice and level. So that's an attachment that I really enjoy on this particular tripod. I use it here to give me that extra height because I don't have a center column. That's an extra couple of inches on top of the height of the tripod that just gets me that little bit taller. Some other great features, the feet can be removed and you can add spikes. So if we were shooting in sand or in soft dirt, or if we're shooting in the snow, having spikes to dig into the ground to make sure the tripod doesn't slip and move is really, really important. For most of the time, I'm always using the rubber feet, but they do spin off. So make sure that if you have the tripod and you're using it quite frequently, just to make sure that they're nipped up nice and tight so you don't unscrew them and lose them in the field somewhere. So there's a whole bunch of different reasons on why I use both. They both have their own characteristics that I really enjoy, and it's something that I feel I needed both different tripods. One, to be able to do these vlogs and these videos for you guys, but two, to be able to have that variety when I'm out shooting. That's a little breakdown of these two tripods. Very versatile. The leveling base is a must for most of your tripods, just to give you that extra ability, just to balance it out. For me, the most important thing is an L bracket. I'll put all of the links down in the comments below, so don't forget to check out the Benro tripods. And I also have a code through Maxim, who distribute the Benro tripods. If you want to use that code, it's PC10 to get 10% off. So guys, that's it from me in terms of the tripods. I'm going to get back to shooting, but if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, or if you have any other ideas, I'm really keen to see what you guys think and find out what you guys want to learn next. Thanks very much. Bye.